The first one was like an hour and a half, right? All right, I'm done. I don't know how to wrap it up, but how do you put an ending on it? Today, I'm talking about getting caught up in your dreams and taking chances. I'll be talking about risking it all and pivoting through life. This comes up often as people are talking to me. It's about goals and where we're going and what we're doing in business, etc. And it starts with a dream. There's something that we all want to do, or I want to do, you want to do. I want to own my own business. I want to be free. I want all these things we hear about financial freedom, freedom of time, all those things. I'm working in this place and they're stupid. They don't know what they're doing. If they did it a different way, it'd be much more effective. It's all these things. And we're in a different place on this wheel of life, if you will. It starts with a dream. It starts with a vision of I want to do this for myself, or I want to do it different, or I think I've got a better way, or if I combine these two things, it could be awesome. And frequently I say to people I'm talking to or counseling with, if you took the energy that you have and what you know with what you're currently doing and you applied it to your own deal, would you be much more successful? And when the answer is, yeah, if I put all the time and resources I'm spending over here for someone else into my own thing, 100%, that would be successful. I think that's kind of the start. It can be a little scary. It's risk. Like I say, it's risking it all. It's taking a chance. I think when we're young and we're in school and in college, if that's a path we chose, I think of myself and my kids and people I know. If you go in any college dormitory or any high school kids' bedroom, they've got posters on the wall, whether it's the football player, the basketball player, the cool sports car. I don't think the guy that's driving forgive me if you drive a Toyota Prius, but the guy that's driving the Toyota Prius, I don't think that was on his wall in his dormitory at college. Is that your dream car? No, it was a Lamborghini. Whatever it is, and that's kind of a silly example, but I think that's what happens in life, and then we start justifying it. So early on, after I got out of college, not immediately, but took a job in the corporate world, and I was a entry level management guy in a union shop, worked in the auto industry. What would happen? I had these guys that were, I'm going to say, a notch above. They were machine operators. They could operate the machine, they could fix the machine. They did a lot better than the mom that had the job, if you will, that when the machine broke or wasn't running exactly right, she's like, I don't know what to do. Well, these guys are a little bit sharper. The way it worked there was they've been doing it for 20, 25, 30 years, and they've saved their money, and maybe they've got a farm or another business or something. They're kind of set up for retirement. I would stop by the dealership, and I always had these new booklets, magazines, brochures of the new trucks that were out, the new pickup trucks. And I just left them set in my office on my desk. These guys would come in, they'd take a break, they'd come in and, hey, how you doing? Oh man, I just finished doing whatever, fixing someone's machine or whatever they've been doing for the last hour. I'm like, man, I really appreciate you doing that. They come in to sit for 5 minutes and talk to me, tell me what's going on. Well, inevitably, they kind of look over and they start flipping through this brochure. If I could get them to dream and get them to go buy the pickup truck, they would work the overtime. It made it easy on me. They would work Saturday and Sunday because they've got to pay for this thing. Yeah, I mean, it's the mind, it's the dream. When you see it and you touch it, it becomes real. It starts with seeing it. You know, this is a little ironic fact. Do you know if you will take that dream and put it on your refrigerator? We've all seen it or done it, right? If you have a dream to have I don't know, pick one. Let's say it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I picked that for no reason. You want a new Grand Cherokee. How about the new Wagoneer? You want the new Wagoneer. That's your dream. If you'll cut out a picture from a brochure or a magazine and put it on your refrigerator, that's your dream vehicle and you're going to go get that. Do you know that more than 70% of the time when people do that, they end up purchasing the color that was on the refrigerator? That's not always what they're thinking when they put it up there. It's just the vehicle they want. That's not really the color they're thinking. They just found a picture of one and put it up there. But we're so visionary, and it's in the mind, it's in the psyche. That's how the dreams work. That's where it starts. I want to encourage you to dream. Go out there, whether it's a car. I'm not stuck on automobiles, but if it's a car, and maybe that's a younger thing, but go to the car lot and look if that's what you want. You know, go for the test drive, do all the stuff. And I'm probably not the first guy you've heard say this. Absolutely 100% works. Whatever home you want to live in, go look at it. When you start out, you may be looking at a house that's way out of your price range. You're thinking, well, this isn't realistic. That's the stuff that beats us down. You know, if that's a house you want, go look at it. And no, you might not start off in the $10 million house. You're going to start somewhere, but keep dreaming. You need to keep dreaming. When we get stuck in business, I've been in business for many decades. And when we get stuck in business, a lot of times the dream's not big enough. We got to get around some other people. We need to read some other books. We need to get our dreams going again. And those dreams change. I mean, as we get the house and the car we want and the second home and all that stuff, what is it? Is it the vacations? Is it, keep dreaming. Stay around those people. And I'm not suggesting, someone go in debt to buy these things. I'm not suggesting that. But it all starts with dream. You heard of a vision board before? Well, that's where you take a big old poster board, right? And you cut out the pictures and put them on there. It's ironic too. Men, we are more visionary for stuff. And women, females, when they're young, it's about the dream wedding and the dream vacation and the right guy and all that stuff's good. Get a vision, get a dream, pray about it. You gotta make these things happen. And that's where it all starts. I talk about the vision board, putting stuff on your refrigerator. I buy into all that stuff. I'm listening. My brother laughs at me because I'm listening to the positive stuff all the time in my truck. I think it's what you're putting in your brain. I mean, rather than putting the negative stuff in there, it's what you're reading, what you're looking at, who you're hanging out with, etc. Get with people that will dream with you. Get with people that are doing what you want to do. Get with people that have done it in the past. It kind of brings me to the next point, which is goals. We start out with a dream, and the dream kind of turns into a goal. Now, how am I going to get there? How am I going to get this thing or this lifestyle or whatever it is I want? I've got to set some goals. Initially, the goal is to be this person I want to become. How do I get there? That's where we start. There's going to be some risk involved. You're going to take a chance. And especially, believe it or not, for the educated people, it's more risk and it's more chance. And it's a little more negative talk, typically. The people around them, I mean, why don't you take the good job at XYZ Fortune 500 company? They're offering you this great salary. You can have a nice life, but that's not your dream. It's not your goal. It's not your vision. I call him my nephew, but it's actually my cousin's son. He's quite a bit younger than myself, and I've got a brother, and we just kind of took him under our wing. It's like our little brother, if you will. He's probably 25 years younger than me. Took him under our wing and got him through college. He got himself through college, but we were there every step of the way, helped him. My parents were very instrumental in that process. When he got out of college, he graduated with an informatics degree. And he got out of college, and people were telling him, hey, why don't you take this great job at Deloitte or take this great job at General Motors or, whatever it was, several opportunities, right? Whether it's defense industry, auto industry, all these great offers. I mean, start out at $140,000 a year. You get to work overtime. With your overtime, you probably make $200,000 a year. What a great start for a kid coming out of college. Well, he didn't want to do that. I asked him, I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to do music. Okay, well, let's do music. Stay at the house. And, we made sure he had transportation, made sure he had a new car, and just kind of pursue your dream. He did that. He cut a couple albums, put it online, kind of went through the process, met some people, didn't get a record deal. Didn't do anything, didn't shatter any earthly records, wasn't able to buy his dream car or anything. So his dream kind of shifted. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm doing beats. I'm selling beats online. That's awesome. Go for it. How's that working out? Making a little bit of money. Talking to him a little later, what are you doing? And he's constantly active. He's not sleeping in until 10 a.m. He is up and going and after it. What are you doing? He said, I want a clothing line. All right, well, let's do a clothing line. So he goes and he has a clothing line and he's on it. He's after it. This is his dream. He's talking to some models that are online and they're wearing his clothing. He's talking to some professional athletes. They're wearing his hats and his T-shirts. And, how's that going? He's like, oh, man, it's just tough. Okay, what are you doing? Well, he came along and called up my dad and said, hey, can we go to dinner? So went to dinner, and he said, can I borrow $10,000? And I'm later talking about this. Thought, well, that's $10,000. It's not coming back. That's gonna be gone. But this is his dream, and he wants to do something online. And he's been watching this guy, and there's this program, and loaned him $10,000. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. He paid the money back, got married, came to me one day and he said, hey, we are moving. I'm moving. Where are you moving to? He said, well, we're actually traveling. We're going to travel throughout Central, South America, thinking about maybe doing Europe. I said, well, what's that look like? And he said, well, I'm making about $30,000 a month with this online thing, and it's growing. And basically with a laptop and a cell phone, I can be anywhere. And they did. They took off. Him and his wife took off, and they went to Mexico. Then they jumped over to Colombia. They were in Costa Rica for a little while. They came home after a year. Came home, hung out for, about 90 days. Saw family, and took off. Went to London. I'm talking to him on the phone. How's it in London? He goes, London's not what I thought. The people I thought I was connecting with, it wasn't much. Where are you going? I think I'm going to Turkey. They're traveling. They're just having the time of their life. But started with a dream, started with a vision, more money than he could have ever made in corporate America, and he's just getting started. It's just growing. And it's not about the money at this point. It's about those other dreams and what they can do and the travel while they're young, etc. And there's something like that out there for all of us. And if you've got that desire and that dream inside you, man, we don't want to get down the road 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, look back and say, I wish I would have done that. Take a chance. You're going to risk it. You're going to risk it all. when you do that. But that's what this is about. It's just life. And it's so fun. It's so enjoyable. There's nothing like working for yourself. But when I talk about this, especially with sales groups, guys that are, gals that are 1099, hey, you're in business for yourself. And if you're a 1099 guy or gal, you may not be in business by yourself. You might be working for a company with a company, but it's really your deal at the end of the day. I mean, if you don't sell something, you don't eat. If you have your own business outside of a 1099, you got other employees, same thing. I mean, we wake up every morning, we're unemployed. We own our own deal. Once you get on this side of it with success, there's nothing like it. I mean, I just can't imagine doing anything else. It's just so enjoyable. When you decide that you're going to risk it all and take that chance, do your deal, whether it's a side hustle and you're going to do something online or you're going to do something else, or whether you're going to leave your job and go into business for yourself, do some research. Take the time to do the serious research. Know everything about it. I mean, what are the pitfalls? What are the chances? What are the downfalls? What's the upside potential? What's the market look like where I'm at? Who's doing this? Who's successful? Who can I follow? Who can mentor me? Who can I watch that's successful? That might be somebody online. It might be somebody you know. It doesn't matter. Pick one. Pick somebody. Get with somebody. Let's get with somebody that's done this before so they can kind of walk us through it. So many times I'll hear from people as I'm going through this. So many times I'll hear from people that are going through this. Yeah, you don't understand. My deal's different. Your deal might be unique, but there's somebody out there that's done something similar. I don't know. Maybe it's even in another field. But at some point, business is business. Whether I'm selling a roof or I'm selling a widget, at some point, business is business. Let's talk about sales goals. It's where the income comes from. If we don't have the income, we can't do any of this stuff. I'm talking about within a business. The goal setting I go through with my guys, and as I'm coaching other companies, what kind of income do you want to make? What's that look like? Is it $120,000 a year? Or am I sitting in front of a senior sales guy that goes, 120? I mean, that ain't even close. I need to be at 480. I mean, I need to make 40,000 a month to make my deal run. Or am I talking to a business owner? Small business says I need to do 1.2 million this year. I need to do 10.2 million this year. I mean, where are you at? It's all the same. No matter what that number is, we go, okay, for the individual guy, let's just pick on that. Individual guy, individual gal. 120 a year, it's a round number, it's 10 grand a month. Okay, so what is the average sale in your industry? And I'll say this too, if you can sell $1 million of almost anything, maybe aside from houses or cars, if you could sell $1 million worth of something, you're typically a rock star in whatever arena. I don't know what the average income in America is today, but it's not 120,000. And there's certainly several people, depending on where you live, you can look at the houses down the street in your neighborhood. It depends on your neighborhood. And you ask yourself, what's the income of these people and what do they do? If you're in a neighborhood that the homes are 2 million to 15 million, well, probably a lot of business owners, maybe some professionals in there. You might have doctors and attorneys, and you might have some guys who've done well and retired, etc. And if you're in a working class neighborhood, it varies. Do they have good jobs? Or are they working for the hospital or the industry or whatever it is? But you kind of size it up. But back to the point of 120,000 a year. Okay, let's get there. What's the average sale? Well, the average sale is 20,000 bucks. Okay. What do you make on the average sale? I make 10%. Okay. All right. So you make $2,000. Well, let's just break it down. Annually, let's take $120,000. The average sale is $2,000. Let's divide 120,000 by 2,000. What do we got? Well, we need to make 60 sales this year. Let's do that monthly. Let's take 120,000. Let's divide it by 12. That's $10,000 a month. How many sales do I need to make monthly? Well, I average $2,000 a sale. Divide 10,000 by 2,000. I need to make 5 sales a month. Let's do it weekly. And weekly, we're going to take the 120,000 and divide it by the weeks. I'm going to do some rough math here. Let's take the 10,000 number, which is monthly. Let's divide it by 4. I've got 2,500. I can't get a partial sale. And it's $2,000 per sale. So I need to make 2 sales a week. And typically, when I start out at 60 and look at my guy and go, look, you need to make 60 sales a year. It's like 60 sales a year. It's a bunch. But when I say 2 a week, the guy typically looks at me and goes, well, 2 a week, I can do that. And I look at him and go, look, I don't mean to mess with you or play games with you, but you just told me you can do 2 a week. That would actually be 100 sales a year. You only need to do 60. I mean, if you can do 60% of your goal, you make 120,000. I'll tell you something else too. That average of 2,000, that's a little low. Actually, if you'll do the 2 a week and hit 60%, you'll make closer to 150. You'll be 120 to 150. You'd be surprised. But I can get a guy to 6 figures, what I call livable wage, within 12 months. Just done it over and over and over and over and go up from there. If you're seasoned and you've been doing this for a while, whatever it is you do, you should be able to double that number. You should be able to get 250, 300,000 within 24 months. It starts with a dream. Starts with a dream, starts with a vision, and then we go through this goal setting process. It's so important that you get the people around you and what you're putting in your mind, getting the education. Once you've decided to risk it all, that's everything from online books, people, etc. Get a plan, get a goal, have a dream, start going through it. It's about taking a chance. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but there's nothing like it. Love you guys. Just want to wrap up this session. Get on it. Talk to you soon.